Good morning, it's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to pull some cards and share some guidance for this reading week ahead. I am here a day early, so you might be looking at your calendar and going, it's not Wednesday. Or it's not Tuesday if you're in another part of the world, but I am streaming this a day earlier than usual because I won't be here tomorrow. So that's just the way it is this week. So I'm coming to you live from Tasmania, Australia, where it is Tuesday, the 9th of August here. It's exactly 10:04 a.m. And I'm getting ready to pull some cards for this week ahead, this reading week, starting Wednesday the 10th of August through till Tuesday the 16th of August. So while you're coming over, I want to send out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. So if you're new to watching, welcome. Please let us know if you are new so we can welcome you. What I'll be doing today is using my Speed of Light Oracle cards. Oh, there's a lot there at the top. Combined with my Animal Kingdom Oracle cards. There are 110 cards. Whoops. There are 110 cards in this deck. So I'm now playing 110 card pickup. So this happens sometimes when the cards want a shuffle. So just give me a second. Let's get these guys back up here. All right, so I've got 110 cards here, and I'll be looking for the best cards that the majority of us need for this week ahead. So I trust you've been led here for a reason, and I trust that something shared supports you at this time. Please take on board what feels right and what resonates, and let the rest go. So let's see what comes up today. So, well, it's Tuesday for me, so it's still last week's card is in effect, which is the Spirit Bird, which is uplifting, motivation, kind of energetic energy. So you can look at the video, last week's video if you missed it. And also last week's theme card was the Stallion, which is about untying ourselves. So setting our wild spirit free. Have you been doing that this week? Actually, I have been a lot. Now I stop and think about it. So I'm looking now for the best cards that the majority of us need for this week ahead, starting Wednesday the 10th of August through to Tuesday the 16th of August 2022. So the best cards for the majority of us are these. Okay, and I'm going to lay them face down here next to me. So just give me a moment. Okay, we have 3 Animal Kingdom, 5 Speed of Light. Let's turn these over. Okay, we have a couple of featured cards. We're going to start with this one here, which you probably can't see. It's Sensuality, and up here it has further instructions, which say to breathe deeply and choose a random card. So I'm going to fan out the deck and go with this card. What is it? Pause. Okay, we'll put that with the Sensuality card and talk about that soon. The other card that we have, featured card, is the Turtle Dreaming. And up here, his further instructions say to take the bottom card from the deck. So that's easy because we just go like that. And we've got the Zebra. So the Zebra will go with the Turtle. So we'll talk about that much later in the week because that's towards the end. I just realised I shouldn't have probably worn this necklace because hopefully it won't hit the microphone. I might hold it here. Okay, so we're starting our week. Welcome everybody, starting our week. This is Wednesday the 10th of August, which none of us are in right now. So this is tomorrow for some of us, or the next day maybe for some. But this is for Wednesday the 10th of August. And it's card 50 called the Unicorn. And it says, psychic gifts, spiritual intuition, and trust. So it feels to be a very favourable time for some of us on Wednesday to look at our spiritual practices. So the things that we like to do that helps us connect on a spiritual level. So whether that's going to church, stepping into nature, meditating, getting your own cards out, journaling, whatever it is, or being in nature, making things, whatever you find is a place of spiritual connection for you is probably important to consider and maybe find time for on Wednesday. We might find that it just seems to be favourable for that anyway. But if we need to, I suppose if you have been feeling disconnected from your spiritual self lately, maybe making some time on Wednesday, it doesn't have to be a lot of time for you to create that space to reconnect with your spiritual self. There is also an element of this card that talks about trust, and especially trusting in our intuition as we're moving forward in life. So we can trust in our intuition, especially on Wednesday, and trust in the direction that we're going on Wednesday too. Now on Thursday, the 11th of August, we have these two cards that have come up together for a reason. And let's look at them separately, then we'll look at their relationship together. So sensuality, card 46. It says love, breath, relationship, and passion. So first of all, this is highlighting the energy of relationships, if that's important to you on Thursday. This is also about breathing life back into ourselves again. So it's similar feeling for me with this card is a balloon. So the balloon being deflated. So a deflating balloon. Have you been feeling like you've been deflating lately? Like you're losing your will to live, let's say. That sounds very dramatic, but that life force, that life energy is draining out of you. Maybe your motivation, your enthusiasm for life is waning or has been for a little while. So this card's very much about looking at what's deflating for us, where are we feeling low, or like we're losing ourselves or losing our energy or motivation or will to live. It sounds very dramatic, but I don't know, it just feels important here. Where have we been losing that, and how can we turn things around and reinflate ourselves with life and life force again? And oxygen. So we could think of this as like breath as well. So breathing out and letting go of the stuff that's holding us back or deflating us, and breathing in life force again. So this sense of replenishment and breathing life back into ourselves. So that's sensuality. Now the other card, pause. It's card 25. And it's an interesting card. It says hold time, transition, suspension, and limbo. So this is about the pause button being pressed, and there might be some of us, especially on Thursday, that are in a sort of state of limbo where pause is set on an area of our life and maybe we can't proceed yet. Maybe we're waiting on other things to happen, or the certain things to line up, or a date to arrive, or finances to be resolved, or something that we're waiting on that might be external to us. So this sort of limbo pause energy around on Thursday too. So this is interesting. So there's a couple of ways we can look at the combination of these cards. One, it could simply be talking about a relationship that is on pause. It's on hold, or maybe feeling like it's in limbo at the moment, like something's not quite right in this relationship. So this would be something certainly to look at and perhaps consider. Is there a way this can be resolved? If there's a conflict, is this just a natural kind of lull in the relationship? Does something need to be done to build things up again? It could be a time of healing and pause. And sometimes this happens in relationships of any kind, friendships, lovers, family members that we might be connecting with, and that it's okay to, sometimes we need that bit of a break from our family obligations and this sort of thing, if that's the space that we're in. And also breathing life back into ourselves. And we may feel perhaps some of us around this time period a bit deflated because things are on hold and things seem in limbo. There might be a feeling of uncertainty at the moment where, a bit like an aeroplane in a holding pattern, and we might feel that way in life in general or in relationships. So this is something then to maybe sit in and look at, why do we feel this way? Is this just a natural sort of part of the cycle at this time? Is there something we can do to breathe life and bring life back into these parts of our lives or parts of ourselves or our self or our relationships that have been in a bit of a holding pattern for a while? So this is quite deep energy, it feels to be, on Thursday. So see how that fits for you. And then we move to Friday the 12th. Now it's interesting, Friday the 12th for me, because my son is turning 23 and I was 23 when I had my son, which means I'm now 46, and this is interesting because he's now half my age. And I find this really fascinating because it means that I've now spent on Friday half my life being a parent and the other half of my life not being a parent. So I find that milestone, this halfway point, very fascinating, but that's just me personally. And for Friday we have the bear, and the bear is card 43, and it says, move out of the rut. We haven't had this card for a little while. Move out of the rut. So have you been feeling like you're in a rut? Like there's more to do, but you don't know what to do, or you're holding back or hesitating, or you're keeping yourself locked away, held back, tucked away somehow, hesitating about what's out there in the big wide world, or what life is calling you to do or be or to do next. So we move into our sort of cave. I like to call it like a healing cave, for healing, for resting, for mending and reassessing our life. And we move into that space sometimes, but sometimes it becomes a bit comfortable there. So we might move into the cave to heal and to contemplate our life, but we might get a little bit too comfortable. And then after a time period, it can become a bit of a rut where we hold ourselves in that sort of space, in the cave, in the home. It could be in a room. It could be just sort of being a little withdrawn from the world, if you like, that we can hold ourselves back in that place, because on some level it is quite comfortable, and some of us prefer that sort of space than dealing with people regularly. So, it's understandable that we would find or become quite comfortable in that healing cave, in that sort of withdrawn space. But on Friday we're being encouraged to really think about the space that we're in. So I'm thinking of this is our comfort zone, and we move into that healing cave or withdraw from the world a little bit or a lot. That becomes our comfort zone. And comfort zones are good. They're good if we need healing. They're good if we need to get our balance back or reset things for ourselves. They're good places to be in our comfort zone, but they can also become what I like to call our no growth zone, because our comfort zone can just become this comfortable place. And, to some degree that's good. And for some personalities, that's really good too. But I know for me, I get a bit bored, I suppose, with that comfort zone, and it does become my no growth zone. I want more from life. I want to keep pushing myself and growing and improving and learning and discovering things about life. I feel like life is short, and I could spend my time when I'm not in this body anymore resting and sleeping and, well, not sleeping, but resting and finding peace. I find that this is an exciting place and world to be in, to create and enjoy life. So what is enticing you out of the cave? Are you feeling like you're in a rut? And you will get this sense inside yourself that I feel like I'm in a rut. I want more. There's something more out there for me, but I'm not quite sure what it is. So what I do when I'm feeling that way is I follow what I'm curious about. And I love following my curiosities. So it might be a word I want to explore, or an image I want to try and create somehow in a piece of art, or it might be a place I want to visit, but something that I'm curious about. I really trust that pool of curiosity that I feel, and I do find it does tend to pull me out of that rut place, or that no growth zone, or that comfort zone, if I'm ready to leave it. So what rut are you in, and how can you move out of it? That's for Friday. Saturday, we've got 2 cards. This is Saturday the 13th of August. We have these 2 guys, Tiger Claw and the Yogi. Interesting. So for Saturday, let's talk about the Tiger Claw first. Card 40. And the Tiger Claw says, stand your ground, speak, action, courage. This is an assertive energy with this card. So it brings something assertive to the table on Saturday. And we might find for some of us that assertiveness means that we have air to clear. So there might be something we need to communicate or say or express, a truth or a feeling that we have that we need to sort of clear the air and speak up in a situation or with someone. There might be something that's not been working for us for a while, and we need to be assertive in our truth or our role or our experience in a situation to bring that to the table. Like I've said, probably not recently, but in the last month or so, is that in general, most people aren't mind readers. So people really don't know how we feel or what we can offer in a situation unless we say. This is why communication is so important. So it's really sometimes dangerous in some ways to sit back and be bitter and agitated in regards to other people not being there for us, or other people not asking us for help or asking us for our opinion in something that we've got expertise in, and this sort of thing. So let's be careful we're not thinking that people are mind readers, and let's make sure we're communicating really clearly what we need to say in situations that feel a bit tense or a bit uncomfortable. So there is a sense of assertiveness in this. We may need to get our claws into something, our claws into a situation or a conflict or something that is not really resolving itself or feels like it's at a stalemate. So what do we need to do in an assertive way? And the other card here is card 32, the Yogi. And the Yogi says, epiphany, learn, lead, and comprehend. So this is about learning and leading. So learning something new or leading the way, teaching or helping other people in that regard. But it also is about the penny dropping. So it's a new level of understanding or, a new level of understanding about something that we may have been unsure about. So it's the penny drop. It's the light bulb moment. The aha moment. The epiphany, where I get it and I see why things happened in that order, or why I had to go through this to get to this point I'm at now. So this is a really revealing kind of energy with the Yogi, because, you know, something that we've been puzzled about seems to sort of fit into place. So we might find this penny drop on Saturday, and it may coincide with the sense of needing to be assertive in some way. Now, being assertive doesn't mean we need to be a jerk or aggressive. It just might mean we need to summon some strength or some courage to speak up or to step up in some way that we'd been in a rut about or holding back about. So that's for Saturday. Sunday, the 14th of August, we have the Cockatoo. The Cockatoo's card 47, and it talks about finding a compromise. So there might be a compromise that's needed on Sunday, especially if there is some butting of heads or some conflict that seems unresolvable. So see, there's a lot of stuff coming up here about other people, relationships, assertiveness, this sort of energy. So there seems to be a lot of stuff stirring perhaps with others this week is the feeling. But finding a compromise, especially in a situation that involves at least another person where there may be a conflict or a butting of heads of sort. So what do we need to compromise on Sunday? Okay, Monday the 15th of August, we have the Black Panther, card 30, and it says to find acceptance. So this is really about finding a peace with a situation that has been uncomfortable, it feels, maybe for a fair amount of time, so for a longish period, to find peace with ourselves, to find peace in a situation or a relationship with someone else, to find peace with something that may not have turned out the way we wanted it to turn out. And this energy feels like it keeps us down, keeps us low. And it might sit sort of hovering under the surface in a lot of the things that we do. It's, grief can be like that, where grief seems to sort of sit underneath everything that we do in life, and it just sits there sort of quietly underneath in the background. And not always quietly, but sometimes it then rears its head up a bit like the pressure being released, like a volcano or something that erupts in there, but it all simmers under the surface. So this feeling, there's something that's been simmering under the surface, like this lava or something that's been moving very slowly under the surface inside us. And every now and then the pressure builds up and the pressure releases, maybe as an aggression or a lashing out or this sort of thing. So we've been encouraged on Monday to look at those simmering, uncomfortable, fiery energies or emotions that sit underneath. And this is especially connected with something that we have not found peace with yet. So something probably from our past, something that's happened, a decision that we made, or some turn that we took in our life that maybe didn't turn out that well. Something in our life from our past that feels like it's not at peace yet. Like there's still agitation or this boiling or this pressure that sits underneath within us, within everything we do, like an inner lava that's kind of just bubbling and brewing and festering underneath and inside. So it feels like Monday is an opportunity for us to really look at what about our past have we not found peace with yet that happened, and how can we take steps to find that peace, or if you prefer to find that acceptance, or if you prefer to find that forgiveness, or to find that healing that's required to resolve that inner energy that's been brewing that feels very fiery inside. So that's the energy for Monday. Now Tuesday the 16th of August, we have these two cards, Turtle and the Zebra. And the Turtle, let's look at these separately, then we'll look at their relationship together. The Turtle is card 45, and Turtle Dreaming, and it says serious, clarification, concentrate, and specific. This card simply means, it cuts through everything and simply means to get serious. It's time to get serious now. So what do you need to get serious about? Do you need to get serious about your healing and finding peace with your past, so it doesn't constantly sit underneath as this simmering, boiling, fiery energy or emotion that sits inside? Do you need to get serious about finding a compromise in a conflicted relationship or a conflicted situation that you have? Do you need to get serious about finding your ability to be assertive and to speak up and clear the air? Do you need to get serious about moving out of the rut? Do you need to get serious about reinflating yourself with life again, or filling yourself up with life force and life and desire and passion again? Do you need to get serious about your dreams, your goals, what you want to do moving forward? And now we'll look at the Zebra by itself. The Zebra card 22. It says alternative options. So there might be other options. This is especially important around Tuesday, and especially for those of us who may feel like there's only one way, there's one path, there's one option. this is suggesting there might be others or alternative options here. There might be a better solution or a better option to consider. So what I liken this to is a tunnel vision. We can get these tunnel visions about, okay, this is what I want to do and this is how I'm going to do it. And then we have a tunnel vision to get there. But the zebra is about expanding our tunnel vision to look at more of the horizon, look at more of the bigger picture here, more of the bigger view, to see that actually maybe there's another option here. Maybe there's a better path that I could consider at this time. And these two cards together simply mean to get serious about alternative options, to get serious about expanding our view and considering other paths, other options. How do we know that they're there? For me, I like to explore situations from as many angles as I can. I like to come up with crazy, ridiculous ideas. One of them may be okay, most of them aren't. In fact, the majority of them aren't. But crazy ideas and crazy thoughts about stuff can actually also bring up other ideas that we hadn't thought about. So I'm not too worried or concerned about how crazy one of my ideas might sound or an option I might be thinking of coming up with, because I like to think of all sides. When we were looking for a new vehicle a few years ago, after my poor old Ford died, we had to look at other vehicles, and I was thinking about vehicles from all perspectives. You know, would this sort be okay? Would this sort be okay? Like crazy. And then that helped narrow things down to, filtering out the things that just wouldn't work and narrowing down to things that potentially would. And in fact, it ended up being that a path opened up that I wouldn't have even considered with my original thought. So I think looking at the bigger picture, looking at all sorts of options and ideas and perspectives from all sides, then we can eliminate things and really work out which is the best path to take. So let's get serious about there being alternative options or alternative solutions to a problem that we might be being faced with at this time, especially on Tuesday. So that's Tuesday the 16th. So thank you. I trust this resonates. We won't really know till we get into our week. And in fact, because I'm doing this ahead of time, the day before I usually would, it sort of feels a little less grounded, I suppose, because it is all future-based. I can't anchor it to starting on the day that the reading week starts. But I trust in the cards and I trust how things unfold. So let's see what happens this week and how these cards fit in for you. I'm going to pull a theme card in just a moment, so I'll do that in a minute. So first of all, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this connection, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you would love to connect more privately, please send us a message through our website. So you can learn more about me and the work I do here at Temple of Balance on my website at templeofbalance.com.au. Thank you so much. So let's find the best card for the theme. The theme card will help us bring these days together and help us see the bigger picture. So like I said, I'm seeing a theme here around relationships or connections with other people, things being resolved, and a sort of conflict sort of things maybe coming up or not necessarily coming up, but maybe highlighted so we can resolve these types of things, clear the air, communicate. Communication, it really is the key, isn't it, in relationships of any type, from our closest relationships to our more distant relationships that we have with family, friends, co-workers, acquaintances, partners, this sort of thing. And ultimately our relationship with ourselves. So communication certainly is the key in resolving things. So let's see what the theme card is. The best card for the theme for this week, starting Wednesday the 10th of August through to Tuesday the 16th of August 2022, is this. It's an Animal Kingdom Oracle card. Oh, well, this is interesting. It's the Fiddler Crab, card 46. And the Fiddler Crab says to be on guard. Okay, be on guard, but don't be paranoid. What do we need to keep guarded about this week? Or, in other words, I'm hesitant with that guarded word, but in other words, what do we need to keep private and personal this week? Now, this is interesting considering the energy that's come up. I mean, we've got the pause card as well, but there's a lot of energy, a lot of cards here, which is more about being forthcoming, being assertive, communicating, moving out of the rut, this sort of thing, finding a compromise. There is little guardedness or keeping things private in that sort of element. So this is an interesting card to have. And what it makes me feel is that we're moving out of this place. So as we start the week, and even on the Tuesday, the 9th of August, which is when I'm recording this, some of us may feel this way, that we've got our wall up, that we've got our, in this case with the crab, our claw up here, and we're keeping ourselves guarded or at distance, at distance between us and others. We might be having a conversation with someone, but we've got our guard up. We might be in a room with other people, we've got our guard up. So there is a feeling here that this week is an opportunity for us to let our guard down, to stop holding this guard up or this claw up or whatever, however you feel it to be, this wall up between us and others. Is this helping? Is this serving any good purpose? Is this nourishing your relationships? Is this making or helping you feel good when you interact with others? Or do you have your guard up and then leave conversations and interactions with others feeling deflated and taking things personally, or not feeling like you fully participated in the group or what have you? Maybe it's because your own guard and your own wall that you've put up, where you're choosing to keep things private and keep things personal that could perhaps be shared. I mean, we don't have to go blurting out everything that we feel and everything we've got going on. So there's a lot of stuff that we do keep personal. But the difference is whether we're kind of keeping it personal in a healthy way, or whether we've got this wall up and we're guarded because we don't want to be hurt again, or we're afraid that someone's going to leave us again, or we're afraid that we can't really trust that person. So we've got all these walls up around us. Now, these walls can be good, especially at the beginning, because they help us survive difficult situations, difficult periods in life that we have and that we go through. But it does reach a point where these walls and this guard that we have, that we feel we need to put up, actually holds us back. Maybe these people around you aren't like what you think. If you've been hurt before, if someone's violated your trust, not everyone's like that. So to keep your guard up because you're scared of being hurt again holds you back from potentially nourishing beautiful relationships and connections with other people because of your, is it a paranoia? But because of your fear of being hurt again. So can you find peace with that? Let yourself heal, let your guard down, and open up a bit of your heart and yourself to other people, where you feel you can let yourself feel a closeness, where you can let yourself feel a connection, a kindredness between you and others. So I feel, even though this card says to be on guard, I feel that based on what's come up and what I'm feeling here, that it is probably about starting the week feeling on guard. And by the time we get to the end of the week, this breakdown of that guard, those walls that we've had up. So it's going to be really a personal thing, isn't it? A personal thing to assess and establish for you, and to observe and be aware of. Where are you on guard? Where are you feeling like you're hesitating or that you've got a wall up? Where are you feeling distance between you and another person? Well, if you've got a wall up, that there can not really be a deep connection there. So maybe it's about noticing that this week and letting that guard and that wall down so that you can enjoy these nourishing connections that are really calling to be made. and calling to be connected with. And because that's a really special thing about us as humans, I feel, is this special connection we can have with other people. It's quite beautiful seeing others in their power. Are you being in your power too? You know? So this will help us give ourselves permission to be a little bit more of ourselves in those relationships and connections with other people. So yeah, I'll leave that with you. See how this resonates and fits into your week ahead. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'll see you again very soon. Take care of yourself and bye for now.